we have from JD, and we have Katie Ladner, Martha, which I don't even want to say Martha Dump Truck because you're sitting right here, but
I'm used to it.
I mean, are you used to pulling in that idea?
Do a show.
Yeah, I want you guys all to come a little bit closer to your mic.
Get on there, you guys.
You're the first, like, shy theater folks I've ever met.
She's
I have a
so
very important question we have to start out with, though.
I'm like, isn't your job to be in microphones? No, you guys have to wear those, like, little head ones, right?
Yeah, they come to us. The little ones that look like moles. Everybody thinks that they're
Oh my god, she's so stupid.
It's a microphone.
It's creepy, though.
Yeah, is that strange for you guys? Because I imagine that when you guys train to perform on stage, for wherever each of you guys train, I know, that you're not usually trained to be mic'd, that you just, like, belt it out to the rafters. What's it like to then get on stage and be like, oh my gosh, I can just, like, sing in a normal voice?
I think, like, every production I've ever done, like, even all through school and, like, when I was working in college and now, like, the mics are always, like, really testy. Like, you never know if they're actually going to work. And I actually have two in the show, just in case, like, one cuts out, they can click over to the other one. But, yeah, like, so I think I've been, like, trained to, like, fight microphones, so it's really nice to not have to do that now.
Yeah, seriously. I love that now people think you have two moles, but it's really just two microphones.
Yeah, no,
getting
really
that word
just
out
like
there.
a giant lump on my forehead.
So now, did you guys, like, grow up with the movie? Like, when
No,
you
but they're like 20.
Did you just think, like, I need to be involved with this project, or was it more like, I just want to be up on stage?
Just want to get up there.
I just want to get up there.
I didn't come in contact with the movie until a few years ago. Like, I lived a very sheltered childhood.
This is Barrett talking to Speed.
Yeah, that's me.
Veronica.
I'm Barrett. This husky voice. That's me.
Oh my god, she's so
I lived a very
stupid.
sheltered childhood, and my mom's an amazing mother, and so she would never have ever let me watch anything like
Oh,
that. So I
Joanne.
saw it a couple years ago and fell in love, and immediately afterwards there were, like, whispers that it was being made into a musical, and I was like, I will kill everyone until I get that.
So
like, I don't know
annoying,
how.
I
So I was like,
can't.
they're probably gonna hire somebody famous, but, like, I'll just kill them all. Like, sorry.
Same here. All these 80s cult classic songs came to me. I mean, 80s cult classic movies came to me in my post-sheltered years as well. But yeah, I encountered the movie a couple years ago and I loved it.
How
about
interesting.
You? Were you a fan, Katie?
I watched it when I was auditioning for the show.
Oh, really?
So bad.
Wow.
Horrible. It's
It's like sheltered kids grabbing onto this
from
movie.
South Mississippi. Like, yeah, that's not a thing. And
That's not a thing. I love it. Well, you know, I think that might be actually sort of helpful because I imagine that if you go into either auditions for a show like this or the performance itself, and you've carried this movie in your head your entire life, that it could really be sort of like off-balancing. You know?
yeah, that's a great point. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Great
For me,
point.
I didn't even actually see the musical before I auditioned for it. Because I just sort of wanted to take my own take on what was on the paper and what Kevin and Lawrence had written. So magically, and that was, I chose not to see it before I was in it.
Yeah, because Dave, we should say that you have just entered the musical.
I am. I'm the freshman.
He had his first show on Monday.
And how'd it go?
It was incredible. I mean, it was
wonderful. It was awesome.
It was, the school, the show is, based on the Westerbrook High School. Like, I feel like it's a high school that I belong in, and like I'm part of this family, and everyone's awesome.
Before you killed them all.
Before I killed them all.
Right, literally killed them off.
No, off stage, we're all good friends.
And I was going to actually ask you guys, so Bear and Katie, when you guys are with a company that's been now performing for a number of months, and all of a sudden someone else comes into your ensemble in a really critical role, how do you guys...
You're like, we're all Heathers.
Yeah. How do you guys fit someone new in and sort of keep going without sort of breaking, speed, really?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of hazard of the trade. Like, it's, when you're doing a musical and it's a musical that has the good fortune to run, people start to move on to other things or take a break and then come back like a few months later. And so, when Ryan decided to move on and I knew we were going to have a new JD, I got super nervous. I was like, oh God. Cause cause Ryan and I, did the workshop together in LA, and so we've been working together for upwards of 10 months or so. But I was like, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be exciting. But I straight up sent and then, like, because, you know, it's a small business, and, like, not to be, like, crazy, but, like, I have my own best interest in art, and I straight up sent our producers, like, a list of people who I was like, if you hire them, I will kill you. Like,
Wow.
well, he's too short for me, so he
He can't be JD.
You must be this tall to
Yeah,
play
you
JD.
must be at least however tall you are to play JD.
You're listening to Heather's the Musical, the special. We have Veronica, who is Barrett Weed, who's speaking, Dave Thomas Brown, who is JD, who you're hearing speaking, and Katie Ladner, who plays Martha, who is speaking. I want to know what you guys think of the audience reaction, because I have not been to a show that is so boozed up and hooting and hollering. Andrew and I went on the same night. Yeah, we had maybe like 7 glasses of wine. It was amazing.
7 minimum. Like, you must have consumed at least 7 volumes of alcohol before you come into the stage.
That's before intermission, yeah.
Act 2 was when they got serious.
So that's, you know, that's the kind of show it is. It's really fun. I've never done anything like that where people are just like blackout drunk and like yelling. Like, some people have yelled like full sentences like in the middle of. There's like there's a scene where like Dave and I are, you know, making out for a little bit in the middle of a song, and like, you haven't experienced this yet, Dave, but like sometimes people will yell, like they'll yell full sentences.
It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Like
One time, this was before Dave's era. What did we say? Like
Before the
BD,
David era?
Before Dave. Somebody, like, because it's like, you know, it's in the middle of 17, which is our, you know, really dramatic duet or whatever, and so we're singing, and then there's a break in the music, and then we literally just make out for like a certain amount of time, and then
Yeah.
and then we start singing again.
Make out.
We like stopped kissing and like looked at each other, which is like, you know, part of the show, and someone literally yelled, "Please keep going!" Like, ridiculous. It's so
You're like,
funny.
focus.
Yeah, and Ryan and I were like, oh my god, like, don't break. But it's just like, you know, it's hilarious. You never know what you're gonna get. And like, sometimes you get the after brunch crowd that's just like a bunch of like Tory Burch ladies and their friends that are just like so they've been like having mimosas all day. They're like ready to see a show. And so they're like just screaming and like squeaking, and like, it's really funny. It's great. It's a great time.
I want to go back now. You just like resold it to me.
And then you also
It's
have
really funny.
then you also have the iconic lines
Yeah.
from the movie that it's just always fun. Like, 'cause, you know, lick it up, baby, lick it up, and all these, and everyone will, the whole audience will break into
Waiting for it.
applause.
It's so funny.
And
Yeah.
because I think it's sort of like these little Easter eggs that people are waiting for. And
Totally.
But then they're also getting the sort of crazy, awesome thing that is the musical and not the movie. That
Yeah.
the sort
People
of
can grab onto.
the new stuff and the happiness of it.
The improvements and the elaborations too. That people are like, oh, they walk out and they're like, oh, they didn't ruin it. It was actually great. And we're like, yeah, that's what we were going for. We're hoping that you.
Side note.
Yes.
Why don't we hear 17,
Yeah,
girl.
the song that you mentioned, and while we hear it, I want you guys to make out.
Make
and
out.
Julia and I will
Great.
yell
Keep
things.
going.
Yeah.
So let's hear 17
I'll just
from
breathe in
Heather's
the
The
back.
Musical.
I'll point to you like
Yell at us, Katie.
I'll point to you at the part where you're supposed to start
Okay,
yelling.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
belligerently drunk yelling.
Here's 17.
Thank you.
Tell us about your song, because I think it's one of the ones that really like resonates, and you kind of steal the show at that point too.
Oh,
Do you guys hate her for it?
No, I love
Absolutely
it.
not.
I love it because it's so unexpected, and people don't really know that Katie has the voice that she has until that song, and they're literally like, oh,
Sober
just like-
moment.
yeah, sober
That's
moment
true,
slash like
Sober moment.
It really
yeah.
is. So
Slash
tell us-
sometimes people yell when you sing too. They're like, that note, girl. I'm like, I'm trying to kill myself.
Do the set with a song for folks who haven't seen Heather's the Musical.
Actually, it's really different than the movie, my part, because the Martha character only says one line in the show, and the wonderful work of Larry and Kevin, they have made this wonderful character that's like super heart. She's just a heart of the show, I guess I should say. She's just
You put in all
got
water
beaten
shoes.
down and beaten down
Probably
by
didn't
like the
know she was
Heathers, and when it really
Sure,
crosses over is
actually,
when her best friend Veronica turns against her
Well,
to
when I met
and
him,
actually save her life, essentially, because she figures out who is doing all these murders. Well, there's another backstory, like Martha is in love with Ram Sweeney, who is one of the horrible jocks who, like, essentially is rude to her the entire show.
We'll meet Ram a little bit later. He's the worst.
Ram.
But he.
I always understood. We have Jessica Keenan Wynn, Heather.
Hello, that's me.
We have John Eidson.
It's actually Edson.
Edson, excuse me. Ram.
Yeah.
And Evan Todd. Kurt.
That's right.
Guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Do you guys feel bad that folks like us disparage you in this way before introducing
We're
you?
like,
Are you guys always defending your character as good actors would?
No, we're pretty awful. no, as the heart center of the show, I think we carry a lot of emotional weight. Yeah. No, it's actually I think it's really fun to play these parts, because I was certainly not the bully growing up, so it's kind of fun to turn around and do that now.
We should remind folks that you guys are the two jocks who basically are not very nice, but then are killed, and we believe you to be two gay guys who sort of done like murder-suicide pact.
Yeah, Veronica and JD end up deciding that they're going to play this prank on us, where they get us to come to the graveyard, and thinking that we're going to have some special threesome with Veronica.
As classic.
As you do. We had just been going around the school bragging that we had, even though we hadn't.
Right.
So we're going to retroactively make it true. We end up showing up, and they stage this kind of gay suicide pact between Kurt and Ram.
Gay suicide. Hilarious.
It's a classic gay suicide pact.
It's a common practice in movies.
And Heather, you are Jessica. Jessica, you are Heather.
It's interchangeable. It's interchangeable.
Look at how I was so taken by your performance. I literally. But you
You
are
should say the main Heather of the Heathers.
the blonde Heather for folks who are.
In the show, they call her the mythic bitch. I think that is so fitting. She just has, I think she's legendary within the school as just raising hell if you step out of line and, obey her every word, please, and thank you.
Typecast.
Typecast, yeah.
Does it just feel right every night when you're like pulling on that like schoolgirl's outfit and you're just like, bitch mode?
Yes, it does. It does for me.
It does for you.
Every single time.
You love
You were
it.
talking to Jessica.
Oh, sorry, that was directed to
yeah. No, Jessica, you take that one.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much, Evan Todd. And like pulling up those like thigh-high